Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Talking with Priesty. Today I'm going to be talking about my beloved Newcastle Jets. They're going for a fair bit at the moment, so just going to discuss a few of the topics. We can start at the top, work our way down. So here we've got the owners, Ledman Group. Obviously at the moment they're in a trade war with the Trump government. China and the USA. Like any businessman who's losing money, they're peeling things back, and they're trying to save where they can. It's unfortunate. A lot of business entrepreneurs, they buy sporting clubs because they love sport. They have a passion for it, but unfortunately, they can't. Once a club they start losing money, it becomes less priority to them, and I think that's what's happening at the Jets now. Move on to Laurie McKenna, CEO. I think he's doing the best he can under hard circumstances. A lot of people are put off. They think he's kind of give Ernie the back door, which I guess in a lot of ways he has, but people forget Laurie was a pretty successful coach himself back in the day. I remember singing songs about Laurie being a fat Scottish bastard with a shit football team when he was coaching the Mariners. And pretty much feel the way they've been performing lately. His hands have been a bit tied there. Move on to Ernie now. Ernie, love Ernie. First season he came and coached, honestly, the boys, they played some wicked football. Pressing high up the field, turning the ball over. As soon as they turned it over, pass, move. They scored some awesome goals. We got a bit of the rub of the green that year with the refs as well. Certain times, and that's the kind of thing you need. Not at the end with the obvious offside and the VAR for fiasco at the grand final, but it is what it is, and he did a great job. Unfortunately, I don't get to watch as many games as I'd like, but from what I have seen this year, and even last year, we're going out the same week. And he's even said he doesn't like to change things, likes to work his way through it. But the high press isn't there. They're just backing off and they're waiting for teams to come to him. And, you could say that's the player's fault, and I guess it is the player's fault, but looks like he's not really getting through to them either. The ball movement's slow. They're not really creating many opportunities, and they're leaking goals like a sieve down the other end. It's just really terrible. The playing group, what can I say? Been hit hard by injuries. Matt Miller had a pretty good start to the year. On the positive side, Mossy's made some good saves. He's made some blunders as well, but when you're getting peppered, it's not easy for a goalkeeper. Not really taking any chances up front. Royo, he looked pretty strong. Looked like he'd hold the ball up. But he obviously got injured. Houlihan got injured before the start of the year, which wasn't ideal. But if you look back at 2017, 2018 year when we made the grand final, you look at the quality of the players you had then compared to what we do now. We're missing Naboo. Right, Vargas. In my opinion, he was the best player in the league. In the couple of games before he got injured, and even when he came back, still showed a lot of touches of quality. Riley McGee, Pato off the bench. Royo was scoring goals. Career best year from Hoffman, and Dimmy, Dimmy as a player, Dimmy just seems to me like he's not past like Dimmy out to Naboo, in across the face to Donovan, boom, goal. Like, it was that quick a couple of years ago. Now Dimmy gets the ball, turns one way, turns the other way, might try and beat someone. The ball movement's just not quick enough. He looks like he's hogging it. Honestly, I believe it really changed after he went to the World Cup, and then he didn't get selected anymore, and now he feels like he's got to do all these things to get selected for the Socceroos again. But what he needs to go back to doing is just, that quick ball movement, bring other players into the game. That's what Dimmy does, and I think he's gone away from it. It's a bit of a debacle in the back line. One of Ernie's big faults is, he kept picking Johnny Kay. Johnny Kay's been through a lot, but he's honestly, you don't like to single guys out, but he's had an awful season this year. The whole fan push for Bobby Burns. Bobby, I watched the game he played the other week against who was it? Brisbane, I think it was. And I watched, the back end of the game when he came on against Melbourne City for the last half an hour. Look, all due respect to Bobby, he's solid enough, but I think just the whole big fan movement for him is a bit overhyped, to be honest. He gives away the ball a lot. Even as a natural left back, he seems to get caught out a lot. When he's I was looking at his stats that Brisbane game, and I'm not including corners, and he was passing the ball inside a lot from top of Stanley, or back to the keeper. But when he was passing the ball forward, trying to hit a midfielder's feet, honestly, he was losing the ball quite a lot. Having said that, we're a lot solider with him at left back, but I don't think there's too many clubs in the A-League who'd be going, oh fuck, Bobby Burns is our first choice selection at left back. I'm happy to be wrong though. I'm happy for him to be given time and maybe given a bit of a chance. I remember watching Labano Halidi I think before the first ever A-League season, the Jets had a warm-up game against the young Socceroos, and they got pumped. And I'm talking one of the Bobby Evans, who used to be around the club and that. And I just remember saying, who is this bloke? He'll never get a run ever. And he went on to have a really successful career in the A-Leagues. I'm happy to be proven wrong. Moving forward, hearing some of the coaches' names that they're talking about, it just gives me the frights. Like John Aloisi, Paul Ocon, they're legendary Australian icons, but they've been to clubs in the same situation that we're at now. And for them to even think about applying, I just think, that's crazy. Why would they want to put themselves through that again? And why are we as a club, we've seen them perform at clubs with tight budgets, and just they haven't performed. Aloisi did all right with Brisbane, the first season, a bit like Ernie when they had a bit of money, but then as soon as the money dried up, he did nothing. And we all know how Ocon had it at the Mariners. Now, a bit of talk of Sven Goran Eriksson, that's just ridiculous. How much money would he cost? And you know what? People be coming in maybe for 1 or 2 weeks. He'll put some bums on the seats, but aside from that, honestly, if you don't have the cattle, you don't have the cattle. It's that simple. What I'd rather see is someone from the NPL, someone who doesn't have who's worked with, small budget, bringing kids into the game. I watched Rochdale play Newcastle United in the FA Cup I think it was last weekend, and they had 2 16-year-olds on in the ground, where are our kids coming through? So I'd love to see maybe an NPL guy who's done well over the recent years get a job, or, let's headhunt. It doesn't have to be from the Football League. Let's headhunt someone, from the lower leagues of Germany or Holland, France, England, wherever, who have done well with a club at a small budget. I hear talks of, Craig Dean's in charge 2 weeks and then we're going to, make an appointment. Like, this season's gone. What's the rush? Like, there is no rush. Like, honestly, we should be taking our time, looking out the end of the season, giving some young kids that we might not be thinking having a go, let them play. This season's gone. Get some experience into them, and headhunting. Let's try and get the right person for the right price, and doesn't matter who the name is on the bench. When you're winning, the fans will come. That's what we know. When we're winning, the fans will come. It's pretty much as simple as that. And as a fan, honestly, there's a lot of banter on Facebook. I've never really been on Facebook for the last few months. There's a lot of banter, but I tell you what, for all the bad things that are said, the boys, they love the club. I know a few of the boys who are getting stuck in it, and they love the club. They just want to see us do well, So let's all stick together and let's all try and get behind them, guys. And it's all about the Jets, boys. We love Newey. Newey boys, Newey boys, Newey boys. See you guys. Love ya.